Welcome back inside the Richmond Olympic Oval as we are set for our nightcap here on Court 1 with Team Germany taking on the hometown team, Canada. Adam Dunphy along with Tim Frick on Court 2. We've got the USA taking on Great Britain, but of course our focus here in Court 1 as the sun starts to set outside of this monument to sport, this massive indoor venue which hosted long track speed skating during the 2010 Winter Olympics. Now Tim, Canada 2-0, Germany 0-1. Only 2 teams out of each pool will advance to the medal round. Canada's off to a good start. What do you expect to see from them against Germany?
Well, Canada's ranked number 3 in the tournament. Germany's ranked down towards number 8 or 9. We expect that Canada should have a good performance. In the little bit of disarray in the program the last 6 months or so, the personal issues and how we got it all together. So we'll see how that
Canada coming off a victory yesterday, 48-41 over Great Britain. Earlier today, they defeated Finland 55-46. Although that was a very close game. It looked like it could go against Canada in the first quarter as the plucky Finns really came on strong to start off with.
Well, absolutely. Young Yolonen finished in a real goal-scoring phenom. I think it caught Canada by a bit of a surprise early on, but then they settled down and once they got over those opening jitters,
Yolonen, after 10 games, was in second place in terms of goals in this tournament at 61. Leading the way is Riley Batt with 69. And the tip-off here. Germany gets it off the tip-off. But Hickling steals for Canada. Garrett Hickling in, blocked at the line, but pushed in by the German check. It looked like Nate Ballman almost pushed him into the goal. The inbound from Germany not so successful as it's knocked out of bounds, but they will retain possession. And that actually did go off the German player, so it was a Canada inbound, and Hickling has it, looking to take a 2-goal lead early on here. Hickling circles, looking for a route to the goal. Can't find one short side, cuts back to the middle. Cuts back to the short side. He's got 20 seconds to go on the score clock. Hickling passes in, and finishing off the play is number 15, Patrice Simard for Canada. So a very good start for Canada. They score first and then collect the first turnover. Here goes Germany. A long pass intended there for Christian Gotts. And he is just able to wheel on and capture that. So Germany gets its first goal. Coming up the floor for candidates, Wilsey. Wilsey tried the center lane, didn't have anything there. Cuts to the short side. Wilsey, the ball's knocked away from him by Arthur Bertman. The ball is out of bounds, but it will be Canadian possession as it was knocked off by a German. Well, they indicated it was going to Canada, but now it's a German player coming for the inbound. That's Christian Gotts. He inbounds and finds number 14, Arthur Bertram, and Bertram's in for the score, and he'll tie the game at 2. So a turnover from Germany leads to a Canada goal, and a Canadian turnover leading to a German goal here early on. Hickling has it for Canada. Far side finds a lane, takes it and scores for his second of the match. You mentioned Garrett Hickling, a veteran and really the early star of this game, has several MVP awards. Also the popular topic in some of the stories published about this tournament, profiling him and as he got older how he started to take better care of himself so he could stay on this team with many younger players looking for a spot. In for the Germans is Arthur Bertram for his second of the game. The inbound finds Hickling for Canada. Hickling breaks out. Wilsey with him. Hickling pass for Wilsey, and a Wilsey goes in uncontested for his first of the game. And there's an equipment problem out there for Arthur Bertram. The German training staff consulting with him, seeing how they can fix that up. Each team is allowed to have a point total value of 8 on the floor at one time, and each player is awarded a point total based on the severity of their disability.
It's actually based on their functional ability within each area, kind of a slightly different way of looking at it. On the class side, sitting down at the court side, looking at the functional individual, how far they can lean forward and backward sideways, as well as the hands. From that,
and trunk strength being so key, as those with the greater trunk strength have the ability to sort of lean out of their chairs and corral and loose balls. A big hit there. Wilsey and Bertram collide, but Bertram hangs on the ball. Back for Ballman. Ballman cuts to the center, looks for a passing option, finds one, and it finds the hands of Christian Goetz, and Goetz scores. And Hickling there gets around 3 German defenders for his third of the game. So Hickling on a roll early here. The veteran duo up front doing some damage already for Canada with Wilsey and Hickling. And the Germans now get it out over center, but unable to connect on that pass, and wheeling onto it for Canada is Patrice Simard. He's unable to pick it up. Very smart play indeed. A timeout, player timeout called by Canada. Each team gets 4 player timeouts, which they will use judiciously, yes, and mostly in cases to avoid committing a turnover. Hickling boxed out from the short side, so he'll cut back to the middle. Spins away from the German check there, tries far side, a pass in for Wilsey. Wilsey has it and gets over the line. Bertram starts out for Germany. He was attempted to push to the side by Simard, but Bertram with a head of steam comes in for the score. And then coming out of the goal line, collides with Garrett Hickling. We'll see to Hickling. Hickling circles back, now cuts in. Has a lane, but we have a call out here. Indeed, as the inbound from Wilsey finds Hickling. Hickling takes his time with it. makes a slight contact with Mick Ballman. Now tries the other side. Back to the middle, back to the far side. Hickling doesn't have a play there, so he'll pass over for Trevor Hirschfield, and Hirschfield scores. Pass over for Bowman. Had some trouble handling it and unable to control it across the goal line, so that's a turnover. Canada has a 2-point advantage right now as they make a change on the floor. Carrying the ball now is Fabien Lavoie. Lavoie collides with Arthur Bertram, but Lavoie hangs on to it. Cuts back to the center. Short side now, passes in. Whitehead, can't bring it over the goal line, and he's going to call a timeout. So Canada's second player timeout called already in the first quarter. The Germans have to be happy, though. They've already forced Canada to burn 2 of their player timeouts, and we're not even through the first quarter yet. The Germans still have all of theirs. As with it now is Fabien Lavoie. Lavoie to the far side, cuts back to center, doesn't have an option of wheeling in, so he finds Whitehead, and Whitehead takes it into the score. Breaking out now for Germany, it's Arthur Bertram. Bertram sees no real option, so Germany will call its first player timeout. The team that is inbounding after a goal has to get the ball over center within 12 seconds or it leads to a turnover. So in that case, it didn't look like they were going to get over in 12 seconds, so quite wisely calls the timeout. Inbounding for Germany, it will be Christian Gotz. Gotz inbounds for Bertram. Bertram has to spin away from Lavoie. Almost lost it there as Lavoie checked him. Long pass, it does find its way up to Andre Nenard. It looks like we have a reaching in call here. And it's going to go against Whitehead for Canada. So Whitehead in the box, and Germany goes to the power play. Arthur Bertram with it. Now takes it over the line, so Whitehead out of the box. And he comes back deep in the Canadian zone to collect that inbound from Jason Crowe. Whitehead collides with Bertram hard, passes in, and Lavoie scores. A great lob pass. Bertram, long pass, looking up for Christian Gotz, and Gotz can't handle it. They've got a distance of 3 goals right now as they're up 9-6 with just over 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Lavoie brings it in, cuts far side, lob pass in, and a nice intercept by Whitehead there as he takes it in for the goal. seeing now for Canada has to be weighted to take into account the 3 ranking for Mike Whitehead. So joining him is Fabien Lavoie, or excuse me, yes, Fabien Lavoie and Mike Whitehead. So that takes up the majority of your point value. So Jared Funk is in number 13 for Canada. He's a 0.5, and Jason Crone is a 1.5, so a perfect 8. And Crone collides there with Bertram, and Bertram gets that lead pass up for Gultz. Gultz checked by the Canadians. And it'll be a jump ball. It'll be Canada's possession. Germans take over. Bertram with it now. Bertram didn't have a lane there, so spins around, tries short side, finds one. Is unable to block him off was Jared Funk. Whitehead storming up the floor, pass over, finds Lavoie, and Lavoie scores. 11-7, Canada leads. Just over a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Canada looking to go to 3-0. The Germans looking to even their record to 1-1. As taking it all by himself down the court is Artur Bertram, who continues to be a strong presence early for the Germans. Voila, pass, Whitehead scores. And the Canadians seem to have that pass down by the goal line down pat. And Bertram scores uncontested. And in the backcourt now, it was Canada's Jason Crone who is tied up, so he'll declare himself the inbounder. Avoid that check. Crone inbounds for Lavoie. Lavoie and Whitehead over center. Lavoie gets the bounce required for every 10 seconds. Lavoie tries to sneak in short side, blocked out there, cuts back. Lavoie cuts back again, didn't see an option he liked. Bounces it, cuts back again. The Germans doing a good job of blocking out Lavoie. 12 seconds left to go on the score clock. Lavoie tries again, evasive move, blocked out by Bertram. Bertram knocks it away and picks it up. And off goes Bertram, a big turnover for Canada, and Bertram makes them pay with just enough time to score. 0.1 seconds left to go, and you won't see it come any closer. And a huge momentum shift for the Germans. Not only are they able to capitalize in such a big way with so little time left, but they also narrow the gap to 2.
We talked about the Canadian coach Kevin Orr. We talked a little bit about the German coach Joe Sark.
And what a story that is.
Well, what a story. He was German broadcaster in the world. He has coached down in the States. He's also coached up here in Canada. In fact, he coached Team Canada in 2004 in Athens and beat the States in the semifinals there. Then he moved on. He's done a bit of coaching in Great Britain, a little bit of players up the league. Just called in really at the last moment to coach this German squad.
Canada leads 12-10 over Germany. On court 1, looking over to court 2, where the Americans are taking on the British. It is the USA with a 13-11 lead over Britain, with just over 30 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Let's win the game down there for Great Britain. They can beat them if they need to. Now, also, we lose this one.
A big game as Britain's gone down 0-2 in this tournament, and they were devastated with the loss today, a close loss to Sweden.
Probably the best way for us.
And arguably the biggest upset, although I thought Belgium upsetting New Zealand might be the biggest, but those two are probably on par with each other as that pass attempted.
Again, the Belgians are 2-2 style. Two guys in the center of
Out. Out now for Germany, it's Max Haberkorn, and he has it. Lobs the pass in. And that was to number 8 for the Germans, who is a late addition, as he's not actually on any of the roster sheets that we've been provided. So we'll solve the mystery of the Phantom German. As Ian Chan brings it back up, it was fast. Mystery solved. It's Andre Leonard, who was changed from number 2. So mystery solved. Thank you, Tim. Ian Chan's able to bring it in. Whenever Ian Chan scores, you're going to hear a loud scream from this crowd, as Ian Chan is a local boy. And lots of friends and family in attendance here. Max Haberkorn with it for Germany. Chan tries to check in, but Haberkorn gets the pass off for Leonard. Leonard was very close to the center line, didn't want to turn that over. So 2 player timeouts left for each team. Canadians not taking the opportunity to strategize at all. The Germans have a quick word with their coach, and it will be inbounded by Haberkorn. Haberkorn, high pass for Mike Bowman. Bowman checked by Trevor Hirschfield. Bowman over to Haberkorn. Haberkorn spins away from the check of Travis Morale. Ball loose, but it's recovered by the Germans. And barreling in for the point, it's Bowman. The inbound from Wilsey up to Chan. Chan up the far side. Cuts around the German defender, cutting back to the middle. Spins around. Will try the far side again. That option's cut off again by Baumann. Long pass for Chan, and that's out of bounds. And that'll be a turnover on Canada. German ball. Haberkorn inbounds. Long pass up for Andre Leonard. Leonard spins at center. Now gains center, gets a bounce, crashes in to Hirschfield. Morale and Hirschfield on Leonard. 23 seconds to go on the score clock. Long pass in for Bowman. Bowman will go in uncontested and score. Now have knotted the score at 13 apiece as Ian Chan wheels in. Chan cutting to the middle, now to the far side. Long pass in. And Moreau scores. Sure to check out Travis Morale's blog As in to score for Germany is Andre Leonard. The Germans have stuck around in this game. They exchanged turnovers with Canada early in the first quarter. The Germans stuck around the U.S. as well. They eventually lost 54-37. We'll see now in for Canada. He'll collect the goal. Long pass up. This is for Habercourt. And Habercourt has no one between him and the center line and takes it with ease. Max Habercourt a 2.5 ranking. And Germany's main inbounder here in this second quarter. In fact, they wanted that, a very skilled passer. Brown takes it up, finds Chan. Chan can't hang on to it. Hickling on the floor now for Canada, as is Patrice Simard. Coming up with it for Germany, it's Andre Leonard. Leonard's pass is picked up by Hickling. Hickling, long pass up for Wilsey. And Wilsey collects it, and he'll take it in for the score. Habercorn, long inbound pass, almost picked off there by Hickling, but eventually Bauman does grab it. Bauman checked by Hickling, stops him up. Bauman gets the bounce, spins away from Hickling. Simard in to help now, but Bauman gets away from him, and Bauman barrels in for the goal. Team Germany does have a 3.5 on the roster, but we haven't seen him yet. That's Artem Salamano. And as long as Mike Ballman is on the floor, we're not going to see Salamano. We'll see. Barrels that one in. Canada up 17-16. Habercorn off the inbound, gets the return pass. Spins away from Morale, finds Ballman. Ballman runs into Hickling. Wilsey back to help Hickling. Ballman jammed in there now by Hirschfield as well. Spins away, passes it back for Max Habercorn. 13 seconds to go on the score clock. Bauman back with it. He's going to drive down the center. Finds a lane temporarily, though, but makes the pass off to Habercorn, and Habercorn will take it in with about 6 seconds left on the score clock. Garrett Hickling breaks out, gets around the check from Habercorn, and will take it in. And the veteran picks up where he left off. Habercorn inbounds for Leonard. Leonard checked there by Patrice Simard. Leonard still with it though. When a reach in by Hickling almost knocked that away, but Leonard maintains control. We'll see now on him. Leonard spins away, runs into Hickling. Lob pass for Ballman. Ballman in for Habercorn, and Habercorn will take it in. Some fancy passing by the Germans, and it's all square at 18. Hickling has some problems with the German wall building up there. Spins back, looking for another option. Finds one, a lob pass intended for Samard, doesn't get there. The ball's out of bounds. And it's a turnover. It'll be German ball. And a costly mistake there for the Canadians. Out now is Yanard. Abercorn, lob for Ballman, and Ballman takes it in. And Germany takes the lead, 19-18. We'll see. Up over center, bounces it, lob pass for Hickling. Hickling looks for a lane. Tries to find one between the two German defenders. It's cut off. And we'll see lose it the goal line. And it's German ball. Another turnover by the Canadians. Inbounded by Habercorn. Habercorn checked there by Hickling. Hickling trying to swap that ball away, and Wilsey comes in to pick it up for the score. So makes up for that turnover by forcing the Germans into what? And a bad pass there. Well, not so much of a bad pass, but problems for Ballman to haul that in. He does successfully and finds Leonard. Leonard starts out for Germany. So consecutive turnovers for Germany, and now consecutive turnovers in favor of Canada.
That's the kind of momentum we talked about just a few moments ago. Hickling will be working hard to create that momentum. Suppose you got the birthday gift there, the early birthday gift.
Hickling with it for Team Canada. Boxed out there by Peter Schreider. And a contact before the whistle, warning charge to Canada. If they get another warning, that'll result in a penalty. I believe it was from Hickling and Ballman wrestling for position on the inbound. Habercorn, checked by Wilsey, tries the far side, lob pass, rolling onto it is Ballman. Ballman has two Canadian defenders on him. And a reaching in call on Wilsey, so they're going to call it a penalty goal. And the referee over at the scorer's table right now indicating something. Are we having a penalty coming up here? I'm not sure. Well, it's no penalty. No one's in the box. And no turnover takes place. Hickling, far side, looking for a passing option. Doesn't have one. Now he'll pass back for Wilsey. So Canada will attempt to try and get last goal and go into halftime with a lead, albeit tenuous if they can get it. 6 seconds left to go on the score clock. Wilsey has a lead, takes it and scores with 2 seconds left to go on the goal clock. You can't do it much better than that. Three seconds left to go in the quarter. And the Germans will be unable to score a goal to tie. So it was a big last-second play by the Germans in the first quarter, and a big last 3-second play, I guess last 6-second play, in the second quarter for the Canadians. And Canada has a 21-20 lead going into the second half. A closer game, I would imagine, than most of us expected here. Canada. 2-0 coming into this game, looking to run their record to a perfect 3-0. They beat Great Britain yesterday, Finland this morning. Germany comes into this game 0-1 after an opening day loss to the USA. The USA in action over on court 2, where they have a 25-20 lead over Great Britain with a minute 47 left to go in the first half there. And while we have a moment, we'd like to give a shout out to Richard Peter, who was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame and is in attendance tonight, so congratulations, Richard. I keep seeing Marnie around this tournament doing various things. And don't forget, for all the latest news and information from all the happenings here at the 2010 World Wheelchair Rugby Championships, check out the tournament's website, 2010WWRC.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2010WWRC. On Twitter to get game updates, player information, all that good stuff. We're also on Facebook. Become a fan by searching 2010 World Wheelchair Rugby Championships. Are you a fan on Facebook, Ken?
Well, I'm on Facebook through my lovely wife, and she keeps connecting me with athletes. A little bit of a tricky time on day one with load up the archives of all the games, plus
You had to jinx it, didn't you? You had to jinx it. But no, everything runs smoother on day 2. The athletes, the coaches, the volunteers, the broadcasters. Sometimes it just takes a day. At least in my case, I know it does. So we'd like to thank all of you tuning in or who have tuned in to this tournament so far. The list of countries that have watched is staggering. It's a long list, so wherever you are in the world tonight, this morning, or this afternoon, welcome. We are in Richmond, BC, just south of Vancouver for the 2010 World Wheelchair Rugby Championships. The sun has gone down here in Richmond, and one of the beautiful things about the oval here is the glass wall on its north side, which allows beautiful views of the Fraser River and the planes landing at Vancouver International Airport.
That's right, and also in Canada, inventing home nation of sport, that's the wheelchair rugby, originally called river ball, invented by Duncan Campbell, Jerry Truman, and a couple of other guys who were looking for a game that would allow people who have quadriplegic or upper arm conditions to be able to have team sport. It's caught on in popularity incredibly in the past few years. More and more nations come each year.
And a healthy crowd here tonight to watch these two matches. And we are underway. German possession. With it now, it's Max Haverkorn, a very effective 2.5 for the Germans. He spins away looking for the perfect option. Now Haverkorn cuts towards the goal line. Sees a hole, it's taken away. A little daylight there, but not enough. The timeout called. Or excuse me, a 12-second violation. or 10-second violation rather. Going, you know what, I'm just going to stop trying. I think I've called everything in the book. I don't think I've been right.
Must be a time up there. Habercorn was on target for the second speed
Well, looking at the scoreboard, yes, it was indeed a court timeout called by Germany as they were getting close to a 10-second violation for hanging around in that key too long. Inbounded by Germany's Habercorn. Bowman with it. Spins away. Gets the bounce. He's being eyed by Canada's Jason Crow. 3 seconds left on the score clock. Long pass and just in the nick of time, scoring for the Germans, it's number 5, Peter Schreiner. 0.5 called in for some goal action, and a dangerous play there as Lavoie almost tipped. Manages to stay on his wheels. Ballman with it for Germany. He's checked there by Jason Crow. Passes it over center, but it's going to be a jump ball here. Yeah, you're indeed right. It was a reaching in penalty, and that's going against Fabien Lavoie. Bauman with it. 2 Canadians eyeing him. He passes it off for Leonard. Leonard being forced back to the center court by some relentless pressure from Mike Whitehead. And they will here, as taking it over the line is Max Habercorn. So Lavoie out of the box for Canada. The inbound finds Lavoie. 3 Germans back to defend the goal line. Lavoie sweeps to the far side and in for the goal. Although at that point in time, I don't think Canada would take any lead from the Russians in any period. Bowman inbounds for Vienna. Back to Bowman. Bowman checked there by Whitehead. That clock ticking down. 2 seconds for them to get out of the zone. They're not going to do it. That'll be a timeout, a court timeout called by Germany. Their last of the game. So good pressure by Canada, forcing the Germans into that situation.
Excellent pressure by Mike Whitehead. He laid a good hit on Bauman and
So we should expect to see an aggressive Canadian attack when the Germans are breaking out, I would imagine, trying to either force them to make a bad pass or hem them into their zone for 12 seconds. Germany will have the inbound deep in their zone. Inbounding will be Habercorn, Germany's strongest inbounder in this game, and he finds Leonard, and Leonard's in to score. The Canadians cut Leonard off as he was making his way back to his defensive position. And now the Canadians break out. 3 over the center line. Carrying in is Whitehead. Whitehead faked a pass, cuts to the middle, cuts short side, passes in, and Lavoie scores. I think it was Fabian Lavoie who went in. I think I called it Patrice Simard. I came up with a hybrid there. Up the floor is Haberkorn with it for Germany. He evades the check and takes it in for the score. Haberkorn, a very effective player here for the Germans. A good inbounder and has good speed and can control the ball quite well. Whitehead looking for an option. Finds one as he sneaks around Lienard and takes it in for the goal. Niederkorn inbounds it for Baumann. Baumann, a slight collision with Whitehead, and now Whitehead and Crone converge on Baumann, but a nice pass up for Niederkorn, and he's it again to score. The German passing has been good too, so Canada will have to hope they make a mistake, but that's the game plan they want to employ. Circling around, and a pass in for Whitehead, and he'll score. 26-25, Canada tentatively leads. And a turnover there, as that pass was picked off by Lavoie, and it looks like it's going to be a double whammy as Baumann is going to take the penalty. So Canada will have a power play after they gain possession on a German turnover, and Canada's going to bring on a new lineup for this power play. Out comes Hickling. We'll see. Simard and Hirschfield. Wilson inbounds for Canada. And now a good opportunity to gain a bit of a lead here. Hickling will go in undisturbed as the Canadian players converge on Baumann as he prepares to leave the box. Haberkorns come back to inbound. He receives a return pass from Peter Schreimer. Haberkorn starts out, gains center. Haberkorn out to the far side, and he'll take it in with a head of steam and then collides into the barriers at the end of the goal area. No worse for wear, though. It's better than using those iron gates that are separating the crowd from the pitch. That would hurt a little bit. As Hickling brings it up, 3 German defenders back, so Hickling spins away. Hickling hit there by Lienard. Hickling lob pass in, and it's knocked away by Lienard, but it's knocked out of bounds, so it'll be Canadian possession once again. I tested out the ice here at the Richmond Olympic Area, and I'll let you know it was coming in handy for me. As you can't stop on speed skates. Hickling cuts to the short side, takes it in. So Canada now playing with a 2-goal advantage, thanks to some turnover trouble by the Germans. This is Baumann, long pass up, and Lienard finishes it off. Germans take it to this 3-player stand in the backcourt. And Hickling is able to evade that, and he's awarded a penalty goal. It looks like Habercorn pushed him out of bounds. Well, what's the logic in Germany's defensive scheme of lining up 3 defenders right in the key? Habercorn takes that one in for Germany. 29-28 Canadian lead. Hickling up for Canada. Cut off there by Peter Schreiner. And the Wilsey comes in to finish that play off. And an equipment timeout here as it's Lienard's wheelchair needs some adjustments. So Lienard's all ready to go, and the inbound will come from Habercorn. Habercorn for Lienard. Lienard spins back in his own zone, Hickling on him. Wilsey collides there with Lienard. And it's an almost giveaway, and it rolls out. It's Canadian ball. There's a long shot there. Hickling has it for Team Canada. Doesn't see a play he likes, so he'll wait. Hickling in with Christian Riedel. Rather, that was Ballman. Passing to Wilsey. Wilsey back to Hickling. Hickling picks it up and will cut it again. Hickling blocked off by Habercorn. Pass across, and it'll be Patrice Simard finishing it off. So a 3-goal lead for Canada. As the Germans break out. Ballman held up there by Hickling. The Canadians being very aggressive, trying to get the Germans to stay in their own end for 12 seconds, forcing the turnover. They won't do it this time as Ballman powers through a pass to Niederkorn, and he'll score. Wilsey up for Hickling. Hickling over center as the Germans go back to their 3 defenders in the key. Hickling circles, goes far side, has a lane, takes it and scores. Habercorn with it for Team Germany. Avoids the check from Hirschfield. Passes in for Baumann. Baumann has 3 Canadians on him, and it looks like it's going to be a penalty coming up here against Canada. Hickling for a reach. So he'll sit for a minute or less. Lots of BC boys on this team. Watches this one from the Canadian perspective, what do you think she'll be saying? These Germans are feisty, or is Canada just going to execute it?
I think game 2 of the day, Germany probably on the 7th. Look at the first game, which was
Thrown inbounds for Canada. Up with it now. Team Canada's Fabian Lavoie. Lavoie tries to go in through the center, can't. Short side, has a lane, takes it and scores. Havercourt on the inbound. He gets a return pass. A fake, a nice head fake by Havercourt. Throws off Crone. Lob pass in for Leonard. And Leonard turns back. They want to eat some time off the clock. Ballman with it. He's going to spin back. 23 seconds on the score clock. 30 seconds to go in the game. Ballman bounces it. Passes for Havercourt. Havercourt bounces it. Another head fake. This one not as effective as Whitehead was able to stick with him. Now Havercourt's going to try the other side. 5 seconds on the score clock. He's got a lane. Now he's tied up. 2 seconds, 1 second. And no good. The time expires and Canada will have 8.5 seconds left to try and get a goal. Whitehead with it now. 4 seconds to go. Over center. Whitehead pummeling in. He's cut off. And a last second pass there won't be for any good. As two German defenders cut him off. A 33-30 lead for Canada over Germany after 3 quarters of play on court 1. Looking over at court 2 between Canada, or rather between the U.S. and Great Britain. It remains the U.S. in the lead over Great Britain, 38-33. And that is in the last minute of the third quarter there. And a good crowd tonight. The crowds have differed. In the day games, it's been a very active program in getting schools out. The school children have learned all about the game, so they're quite expert fans when they come out here. And tonight, the first set of night games starting at 7 o'clock, so those who are working or not lucky enough to attend elementary school get their first taste.
I've been in grade 7 the best 3 years of my life. We've had great support from the Olympic teams. They've been an educated group as well.
I want to know where those types of field trips were when I was in elementary school. I mean, we went to farms, fish hatcheries. Never got to go to a world championship event. No, and the Oval's been very active in getting school children in here. During its life as a long track speed skating event center, during some of the Canadian meets and international meets, school kids would come in for that. And they've been active here all this week as we're here to start the fourth quarter. Canada's possession, an inbound pass there for Fabian Lavoie. Lavoie cut off from the goal line, so he'll spin around and try again. Finds a lane and just enough energy to get it through. And almost a turnover there as Leonard's pass didn't really connect, but Leonard has it again. Hit there by Crow. Nice back pass, and Arthur Bertram takes it in for the score. Lavoie. They're going uncontested score. 35-31 and Canada leads. A reminder to stay up to date on all things World Wheelchair Rugby Championships. Check out our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at 2010 WWRC. And check out the website, 2010WWRC.com. Lob pass up for Nasser Menazala. And Menazala scores as he's seeing his first action in the game. Also have to remember, Canada's played already today, so they should be fatigued as well. Talking to Erica Schmitz after the first game, I asked her, is the team going to be initiated? She said no. They're too in shape for that to be a problem. They train very hard, and their stamina is at a world-class level where it needs to be. Another example is in sledge hockey, they actually have the trainers look at the legs of the players to see if they're bleeding. Because of the spikes at the end of the sticks, they don't know if they've been spiked. So the training staff these teams travel with, as you can probably see from the sides, it's very large, but very necessary. In to score for Germany is Arthur Bertram. Another thing that's beholden to see. Next time Australia plays, we'll have to show you folks at home the contraption they've rigged up for all their wheels. It's quite something. So be sure to tune into the Australian game tomorrow for that. Lavoie has it for Canada, and he'll score. And Canada just happy to do an exchange of points here with Germany. You get one, we'll get one. As they've got a 5-goal lead with 5:55 left to go here in the fourth quarter. And that's going to be an exciting one. Canada-USA is big in any sport, especially in this one. If you've seen the documentary Murder Ball, well, that just gives you a bit of a taste. The USA and Canadian teams do not like each other. Miscommunication there as they were trying to figure out who to get out. Long pass up for Bertram. Bertram scores. And it just continues, point for point here in the late going of this matchup. 5:47 left to go. Canada in the lead, 39-35 over Germany. Canada 2-0 thus far. Germany 0-1. Top two teams from each pool will advance. And Canada really have a tough pool against the U.S., two perennial favorites. And Hickley. There's a penalty coming up here. It's going against Vienna of Germany for a reach. So a turnover in favor of Canada. Hirschfield inbounds for Hickling. Hickling loses control. It was knocked out of his hands by Bertram and knocked out of bounds. So Canada will retain possession. You're right, it looked like it was Bertram who knocked it out, but so it will be Bertram inbounding. He makes a long pass up for Menezala. Menezala can't corral it. Wilsey picks it up. Another turnover in favor of Canada. Hickley cutting wide, and he's awarded a penalty goal as he was being pushed out of bounds by Bertram. And in the late stages here, in a game you're trailing by 5, what's the harm? Germany's called a timeout, their bench timeout, to discuss strategy. When play resumes, they'll be shorthanded, as Andre Leonard is in the box for Germany. Too many cooks in the kitchen, perhaps. Timeout over. And it will be Germany to inbound. Menezala. Ola's pass just got into the hands of Wolfgang Schmidt. Then Schmidt throws a pass across for Bertram. Bertram long pass, and it's picked off there by Patrice Simard. And he's knocked over. But Canada will retain possession. That's Canada's last timeout, bench time, or excuse me, floor timeout. So both teams down to 0. Wilsey inbounds for Hickling. Hickling up over center. Hickling signaling something that appeared to the bench. And Orr says nope, very time at all. Hickling just barreled in for that one. And now Leonard's out of the box. Carrying the ball up the court for Germany, it's Arthur Bertram. He'll score. And coming out for the goal area, rams into Garrett Hickling. Wilsey inbounds for Hickling. Veterans go up the floor. Hickling a move around Leonard and scores. Bertram trapped up court by the two Canadians. He's going to indicate himself as the inbounder. So he'll come back to get out of that sticky situation. And he's got the ball again. Bertram up over center, has to beat Wilsey. Passes it over, and he's not going to get there. It's out of bounds. It's a turnover, Canadian ball. pushing in penalty coming up here against Germany as Bertram gave a whack to Hickling. Hickling just sort of smiles. He drew the penalty, he's happy. And Canada has a 6-point lead now on the Germans with 4:13 left to go. Wilsey takes the handoff from Hickling. And unimpeded to the goal line, he'll score. And out is Bertram. Canadians keeping an eye on him. So much so that he declares himself the inbounder again to get away from the checking. And that's a real disadvantage for Germany. You don't want him inbounding, you want him getting the inbound. But you can see Germany doing an okay job getting the ball back to Bertram quickly as he collides there with Hirschfield and Simard. A pass up for Leonard, and Leonard scores to bring the Germans back within 6. Bertram collides with Hickling, but Hickling maintains control, throws a pass ahead for Wilsey. Wilsey collects and he scores, and a beautiful pass by Hickling. And the Canadians again aggressive up court. This time they chose Lienard as their victim, so he indicates himself as the inbounder. And Bertram didn't want to take his chances up there a third time. Goes out of bounds, a timeout called here. And Canada, before that timeout, looking like they were ready to make a line change. One of 2 women on Team Canada, or both actually on now, as we just noticed. Erica Schmitz is on as well. And the advantage to having 2 women on the court is you get a higher point allotment. For each woman on the court, you're allowed to have 0.5/8. So with 2 women on the court, Canada is allowed to have 9 points out. And we saw this from Canada earlier today in the Finland game. A challenge there by Whitehead. Knocked the ball temporarily out of Bertram's hands. And then Bertram tries to make another long bomb pass. It is unsuccessful. And a turnover for Canada. And that gets the crowd into it. Hickling has the ball knocked away from him by Bertram. And was it Bertram who touched it last? Yes, it was. So Canada will retain possession. It'll be inbounded by Mike Whitehead. Whitehead to Hickling. 2:52 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Whitehead cuts in. Hickling to the other side, passes in, and it's knocked away by Bertram. But to no avail as he knocked it out of bounds. So Germany doesn't get possession. Canada retains it, and Germany's going to make a change here as back out of the court comes Malik Baumann and Max Haverkorn. And they are joined by Christian Rydell. A pass in for Schmutt. She's unable to corral it. And that'll be a turnover in favor of Germany. It'll be Haberkorn taking his familiar position as the inbounder for Germany. 2:44 left to go. An 8-point lead for Canada. Passes in for Ballman. Ballman gets a very nice block from Rydell, and he's away. Makes the move around Whitehead. Whitehead takes a bump from Nasser Menezla and allows Ballman to go in to score. And that's where you see the effectiveness of the 0.5 and 1-point players. If they can secure a good block, they've given the ball carrier essentially a free goal. And now Habercourt to the box for Germany as he pushed one of the Canadian players out of bounds. So Canada back to the power play. 2:18 left to go. Hickling with it. Hickling content to kill time here as Canada has a 7-point lead now. Whitehead backs up. Now comes forward, gets the bounce. 16 seconds to go on the shot clock, or excuse me, the goal clock. And they intend to use all of it. 8 seconds left to go. And great diving there by Whitehead, who was able to take it in with just 1 second remaining on the shot clock. Habercourt out of the box, he'll inbound. He gets a return pass, but Schmutz is right there to check in. Habercourt gets over center, passes it in for Menza, and out of nowhere comes Hickling to block Ballman. Ballman looking for an option as Hickling's right there, as is Marinda Belitsky. Passes back to Habercorn. Habercorn still with it. Hickling trying to knock it away. A pass into Ballman. And a penalty goal awarded there as there was a reach in by a Canadian player. 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter. Canada leads 46-39 over Germany. Canada going to move to 3-0 with this victory. Germany to fall to 0-2. Canada picking up wins over Great Britain and Finland. Hickling kills some time. Does some dipsy doodles and a pass in for Whitehead, and a great reach by Whitehead to maintain control of that ball. It appeared that one of the Canadian players went in and out. So a turnover in favor of Germany, and Habercorn will inbound it. Passes it up, and there it finds Nasser Menezla. But Menezla's pass is picked up by Hickling, and Hickling will just kill some time. 13 seconds left to go in the game. And he'll just run the clock down. Hickling, eyed by Menezla. Hickling throws it up, and Miranda Valetsky will end the scoring for Canada. 0.6 seconds left to go. Canada moves to 3-0. The Germans fall to 0-2. Germans, full credit, they hung around, they gave Canada some headaches, but in the end, Canada able to capitalize on some turnovers and finish with an 8-point margin of victory, a 47-39 final here for the late game on court 1. 42 seconds left to go on court 2. The U.S. has an 8-goal lead over Great Britain, 53-45. U.S. looking to maintain their winning ways. Britain looking to avoid going 0-3. 4 So, Canada back in action tomorrow, as is Germany, and we hope you'll join us as well. Game action kicks off at 9 a.m. tomorrow Pacific Standard Time. Court 1, Court 2, a full day of action ahead. So, any final thoughts? And Canada assembles at center. And that'll do it here for day 2 of competition at the 2010 World Wheelchair Rugby Championships. Our broadcast partner, Tim Frick, I'm Adam Dunphy, wishing you a good night from the Richmond Olympic Oval.